Now some of you are wondering, what crazy thing did I get when I use a solver to try to solve this equation? So looking at the example that we just did in part B of the notes, I put it in the solver. You write it as the equation. 1 equals, you first of all solve in parentheses, 1 equals 2 plus 3 cosine pi over 8 times x minus 2. Make sure parentheses are closed correctly, and then comma, and then x, meaning I'm solving it for x. And if you push enter, first of all, you get this crazy thing if you don't push control enter. Let me do control enter. There we go. We get this thing. X equals 16 times n2 minus 0.179087, or x equals 16 times n2 plus 0.4209. So if I actually take a look at this, kind of try to get this where it's sort of centered. Okay, so let's see here. So just remember that it says x equals 16 times at the beginning. So I'm going to take this and actually compare this to what we got at the end of the last equation, the end of the last last tape. So let's take a look and see how this compares. All right, so here's what we have. Let me kind of size this down a little bit. Okay, and let me write the 2 down. So what we end up with is 16 times n2 minus 0.179087, or 16 times n2 minus 0.42987. So let's take a look at if we were to distribute the 16 here, what would we get? So I'm going to go back up here and say, what is 16 times 0.179087? 0.179087. And actually, I think I'm going to use the curly brackets here. X, and do both of them at once. Sorry, I changed my mind of what I wanted to do. 16 times 0.179087, comma, and then 16 times the next number, 0.429087. And let's just see what I get. Interesting. I got the numbers, oh, that's negative times negative. Shoot, I should have had those negative. Both, I should have had one of those negative. That's a negative number here. It's a negative 0.19 and a positive 0.42, so this is negative. There we go. Notice those two numbers are the same two numbers that I had before. So I'm going to delete this and take this back. Now let's delete this one. And I'm also going to delete this. So I just have kind of my solver, my answer, and this. I think I'm going to copy this and put this into what I had up at the top. So, sorry, I'm just sort of muttering to myself. I'm kind of winging this as I go. Okay, so here's what I ended up with. And here are the things. I'm going to erase these right now. So here was my original solution, the 6.8, these two numbers plus 16n. And here I have 16 times 2n2 times negative 0.17 and 16 times n2 times positive 0.4290. When I multiply 16 times negative 0.17 and 16 times positive 4.29, I get these same two numbers. So really this is saying the very same thing. I'm not sure what n2 is. n2 must just represent n. I'm not sure why there's a 2 there. I don't think it's the number 2. I think it's more of a variable name. I'm kind of curious why it is written as n2. But this is another way of writing the general solution. It's just kind of a I think, a less intuitive way than the way that we solve it. But that's, anyway, in case you're curious about what the solver is telling you, it is telling you the same thing, just in kind of an odd looking way, as to what we got when we solved the equation.